Welcome to the Real Salty Podcast. Please join Stephanie and Caitlin as we dive into life in Florida, the good, the salty, and everything in between. We'll chat about real estate, family, sports, building a community, and all the unique things that make living in the Sunshine State so special. Plus, we'll bring on some amazing special guests to share their stories and expertise along the way. So grab your favorite drink and get ready to laugh, learn, and get a little salty with us.
Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the Real Salty Podcast. Of course, my name is Caitlin and I'm joined by Stephanie.
Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back. We're back.
Yeah, we had all these things we were going to talk about from this weekend.
We did.
But we had one of those weekends that it was like off limits.
Yeah. No, that's a return.
Not because we were bad.
No,
not because we were bad.
Happens.
Just life happened.
Yeah,
this
we were
weekend.
going to do a couple different events, get some really great
Oh my
footage for
gosh.
you guys.
I was really excited about a couple of them too. But as you get older,
life happens.
and life just happens. So we move on, right?
Maybe one day we'll talk about this weekend. But
yes, I actually think we will one day.
I think we will.
It's just raw and real for us first.
Yeah, we're going to see how a couple things play out a little bit more, and then we'll give it a go.
We will.
We do have a few things that we wanted to go ahead and hop on and talk about.
Yeah.
There was a couple events that we did mention last week, but before we jump into those events that are still coming up, so we want to make sure to let the people know the times, the dates, the places, who, what, where. Easter is coming.
Yes, Easter is coming.
Easter is this upcoming Sunday on April 20th, which is also Trent's birthday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
So and then, as far as visitors in the area, it's mostly the Northeast at this point.
Okay.
Like Pennsylvania up. Maybe a little bit of Maryland, but pretty much them up.
I like how you're like my regional weather girl.
Because
in the business that you are with the jet ski rentals, you just always know who's on vacation or
always.
What do they call it in Europe, right? A holiday. On their holiday.
Yes, they're on their holiday. It's the truth. It really is the truth.
I love how you literally specifically were like northeastern Pennsylvania. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
I mean, pretty close to it.
You could probably tell what town they're from.
And then you're not wrong about the weather piece of it. I mean, I remember we were here that Tuesday before Helene hit.
Yeah, we were.
And we were talking about your boat lift.
Yeah, sure were.
And Jeff, our broker, and I were like, lift it as high as it can go, Caitlin. This one's going to be bad.
We Josh Groban.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally,
exactly.
It was. I remember the owner of the home that we were renting the lift from. He concurred with you guys and was like, "This is what I'm going to do," and then take the pilings and tie them off, just in case the water does get high enough so it doesn't actually float away.
Yes.
So we did. We raised her all the way up, and I mean, she was
as high as could be.
Was in the air.
She was high as a kite.
And actually, the owner came home and he kind of laughed a little bit. He looked at it and we were like, "Is that good? Like, is that what you want?" And because it's his dock, it's his lift, we're like, "Is that cool?" And he's just like, "Yeah, that's fine." He's like, "If the water gets that high, we're all," and it's like, we come back a few days later, and ours is one of the only boats that is still on the lift.
Still on the lift. In fact, our lift broke. The motor was shot.
That happened.
Yeah, the motor was just shot.
And again, it was a rental situation. So then it was, your dock broke my boat. No, your boat broke my dock.
Yeah, exactly.
And I honestly don't know how that turned out. And these are the days of our insurance lives.
Yes, exactly.
It was
exactly. But yes, I do. Unfortunately, well, you grew up in the Midwest, as well as I did.
Yep.
And my grandparents on my father's side were farmers true and true. And so you live and die by that business as to what the weather is, right?
Very
and so
true.
I'd call my grandmother and she'd be like, "Steffi,
of course,
you're getting some rain, aren't you?" I am, Grandma. So anytime I lived, that was Indiana. We lived in Chicago. We lived in New England. We lived in Florida now. So it actually opened up. So she had more areas to watch.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wilbur told me you're going to get soaked. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
so it's in my blood.
But I have those family members too where they know you're in Florida. So let's say something happened in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay,
Well, and I do think that for years, I probably would make some smart-ass comment back to anyone that checked in on me. Not trying to be a smart-ass, because I really am not in a lot of ways.
No,
but probably like, how are you that geographically not challenged? So then when we did have stuff happen and that same person didn't reach out, they were probably like,
now, right?
They were probably like, I'm not asking her. She's just going to tell me, not in my area.
Thanks for nothing.
And here it is in my area. So
you can reach out anytime.
Yeah. It's so, I know, but it's like, okay, it's so different from Miami to us. It's like, and living in New England area, like you could get from one end of the state to the top of the state in Connecticut in less than 2 hours.
Yes.
I can't even get halfway to Miami in 2 hours. So that's why it's just so different. But I mean, but yes, I know a lot about the weather.
Heart, though. I mean, she's thinking about you, I guess. I actually just had a flashback. So my family, when I was super young, I grew up collectively majorly in Missouri, on one side or the other. But for a few years, actually, when I was younger, my family lived in California. So we lived in Lodi, outside of Stockton.
Oh, yes, I think I remember that.
It was supposed to be, from my understanding, my father's electrical engineer job, it was supposed to be a 1-year contract, or let's say even 18 months.
Yeah.
Wound up being a 2.5-year build.
Yeah.
So my family knew ahead of time that from moving from Maryland, that the next job after the Cali job was going to be in St. Louis. So my parents shipped a whole bunch of stuff to St. Louis and thought, all we need is what we need for 1 year, this, that, whatever. Wound up acquiring so many more things, obviously, after 2.5 years. So by the time we got back to St. Louis, we had double the stuff. My mom goes, I remember having double the stuff. It was a twofer, and then I had to decide, what I was going to pick, and I had forgotten what I had shipped and all
of that,
But 1992, 1, I don't know. We were living it was probably 92. We were in California, and there was a big earthquake in San Francisco, maybe, or even LA.
Yeah, in the Bay Area, I think it was.
Something like that. And my, again, landlines, right?
Right,
this happens, and I don't know how, but my mom said, we felt vibrations where we were in the Central Valley and stuff like that, or in the Valley area near Stockton and closer to Sacramento, but it wasn't violent at all. But like my mom was like, I don't know how, but your grandmother in Iowa, a town of 958 people, called. All of a sudden the landline rings, and I figure it's going to be the neighbor, it's going to be somebody local or whatever. And it's my grandma in the middle of Iowa being like, oh my God, there was an earthquake in California. Are you okay? Where's the kids? Are they all right? And she's like, first of all,
how do you know about this already?
I don't even think it's hit the local news.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What tracking device do you have in our house?
Weather Channel was on all the time.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
All the time.
And it was a 1992 Weather Channel, so I can't even imagine what that looked like.
My gosh, I can't even imagine.
I don't even know. The cable syndicates exist. I'm not going to date myself. Yeah. Anyway, the point is they always are watching, but at the same time, we appreciate your concern.
Yeah.
And it is funny because the time that the shit really does hit the fan, you're absolutely right. There's certain people who are like, where are you at?
Yeah.
And see, you're fine because by you saying like, not me, not my area.
Yeah, no, that's not us. No, that's not us.
We would never say that, but I would actually send back something stupid like, new phone, who dis?
Yeah.
Send me Apple Pay.
You actually would.
$50.
Yeah. Who asking?
Exactly.
You would do that, exactly.
New phone, who dis is what my aunt would get.
Exactly. I did all over the weekend. You can kind of see it. I got this massive bruise on my head.
Oh my
Which sounds like I had like a big drunken weekend. Okay, well, I'm too old for a drunken weekend.
You gotta stop running headfirst into walls.
I got home really late, which makes it sound like I was even partying even more.
Life was happening.
Life was happening on early Sunday morning. I'm a 10 p.m. bedtime girl.
That's right.
Like literally, it's like I'm an early bird. That's right. I'm not part of the 5 a.m. club. That they advertise.
One morning that I called,
but I'm like 6
a.m. That's the one where you're sleeping
because
you had
I know.
Just gone to
I
sleep.
know. I literally.
Like, who do I know that's up? And I was like, I gotta call.
Literally, I was like, oh,
What's wrong with Caitlin? Yeah, exactly.
No, don't worry about me. That was just me being like,
can you believe what just happened? So we were both having our, can you believe just what happened? So I went into my bedroom at 4:15 a.m. and shut the door a little bit, which we never have our door shut. Then I was like, I better go eat half a banana before I go to bed because I had not eaten since, 5 p.m. the previous night.
Right.
And I forgot the door was shut.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, that was so much pain. And so I have a bruise.
Well, if it's any consolation, I can see a little bit of the bruise. And now that you mentioned there's just a slight little bump. But like my
eyebrows are off. Because of it, but
they could
it's fine.
Be way worse.
Just didn't fill in the pencil the right way.
I was going to say, for you to hit that part of your eye socket,
my God, it was
like,
so
you
bad.
I would look like Quasimodo. It would be the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I was like, and it still hurts. Like, if you ever find, don't even touch it, but like I come close to it. But anyway, I've got evidence that life happened over the weekend. But yeah,
I think you might have gotten the.
We need to call it something.
Do we not talk about Fight Club? Is that what really happened?
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Seriously, was it? I was
you
part of the
joined
UFC.
A roller derby.
Yeah, I was part of the UFC.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see me on Netflix? I was part of the UFC. But look I've got the Lightning shirt on because the Lightning made the playoffs again. It's I think it's 8 consecutive years.
Think it's 8 consecutive? You know damn well it's 8 consecutive. No, I was kidding.
If you ever come into Tampa Bay area and you're just visiting and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to move to this area, go to the Amelie and watch a Lightning game. It is electrifying.
That's the arena the Lightning.
Yeah. They play for it like right downtown, right on the little river area that you always see. It's not a river, but that's what they call like the little river area.
Yep.
It is outstanding. It is, and even if you say like, well, we don't want to pay for tickets, they have what's called Thunder Alley right outside Amelie. And you can go and bring your own chairs.
Shut up.
I've
never been.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been.
You can bring your own chairs and sit out there. And they have vendors and a huge screen that you can just hang out. They call it Thunder Alley.
I kind of like that.
So it's
like tailgating.
There is no hockey is amazing anyway.
So you can bring your own chairs, but can you bring your own coolers?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sold. And not only that, but it's only $20 to park in the garage.
Coming
right
from
there.
The tailgate culture of the Kansas City Chiefs, which is a huge deal. The stadiums are outside the city, surrounded by swaths of parking lots, just for everyone to rally together. How did I not know about this?
Yeah, it's amazing. Because the Lightning just I don't know, hockey's really popular here, but it's not a high school sport.
No.
It's a club sport.
True.
And so a lot of it is that you don't think of anyone that comes from the north, you're like, hockey in Florida?
I gotta be honest, I was the same.
Hockey?
Yeah.
After growing up in Chicago with the Blackhawks, it was like, what, hockey? And I loved hockey when I was in high school. I just think it's a fun sport to watch. But, so they made the playoffs, so I'm wearing this shirt because I love it. And then the Rays are still playing.
Oh,
they're playing over at the George Steinbrenner Field.
That's right. So
because of the hurricane hitting Tropicana, and they have now since voted that the Trop is going to be rebuilt.
What do you mean rebuilt? Like in its
for the next season,
or they're going to?
No, just for the next. Yeah, okay. No verdict is out of where the Rays are going.
I don't know. That one new owner was talking a good game. Did you watch that news where it was like they didn't meet their what was it, the bonds or something like that?
Yeah.
And then basically a new person bought the land or something, but not the team, but the land around it. And he was like, I don't know, it seemed, I don't know. Well,
annoyed.
No, not annoyed. It was just like, I want to do everything I can in this area, and if it includes the stadium, great. If not, I have a plan for the surrounding neighborhood without it.
Yeah.
But I would be interested in working with the Rays under different ownership. And that seems to be the collective, not only from the city, but apparently the man that now owns beneath all is the dirt and the land. I don't know.
I will say, in St. Petersburg's defense, they had tried to create this whole gaslight district right there, right? Yeah. That's the district that it's called is Gaslight. It's Second Street South, so just south of Central.
Okay.
And they were going to build a stadium on the same premises of where the other one is located and then make that a parking garage.
Got it.
But they're trying to get this deal to pass in the middle of Helene and Milton.
That's true.
And I don't know how anyone... And then not only that, but let's not even mention that in November there was elections.
Oh, yeah.
So by the time that, like, they started to say, like, and now we can talk about this.
Okay.
Because of after everyone... Then they have new people in there. And those people that were not on the board or the city council, Pinellas and St. Pete previously, were like, need to get up to speed.
Well, wait a minute. Okay.
We need to have all the facts. And it's like, what job do you go into in your life that you don't
stop?
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
To Sherlock Holmes.
Like, what job?
To my heart's desire.
Yeah, I mean, let's even take Target for an example. Let's say you go to Target and you get a job as a cashier. You don't wait and the customer comes up to ring it out. You don't go, I'm sorry, I haven't been trained. You're going to have to wait till I get trained.
Are we 100% set on Circle? Right? I think he wants to change the whole app name.
It's like Target ladies now running through my head. But that's what I feel like. It was like, who goes into a job and goes, what about the fake it till you make it?
Well,
isn't that what you do when you go into a
public official? And we know this is a rotating seat of the service, essentially. Yes. It's just like when the new president takes, there's a briefing.
Yes.
Here's where we're at. Here's why we're doing what we're doing. This has already been in motion. You're going to continue to carry it. Yeah. And this is the reason why.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
And sometimes people don't do briefings. We listen and we don't judge. We know that. But nonetheless, like, how do you, I don't know. So anyway, so they did vote that they were going to get the trop fixed for 2026. But the Rays have so there's like over 100 games in baseball, right?
That's a lot, yeah.
It's like 70% of them are at the beginning of the year. Because they don't have, because once hurricane season hits, which means rainy season.
Yeah.
Even if we just want to call it rainy season, it sounds more dramatic when we say hurricane season. But they just rainy season. Yeah. That they don't have the infrastructure because it's an open air field at George Steinbrenner Field.
They don't, exactly.
And that's over in Tampa, right down the street from where the Bucks play.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's called the George
Steinbrenner. From the Yankees.
Yeah, I try not to pronounce it right.
Yeah, because that's where the Yankees
Yankees spring training.
Yeah, the farm team plays.
Exactly.
And where the spring team. Spring team.
It is an impressive stadium.
It is. And they redid it so that it's they didn't redo it. That's taking it a little bit too far. But they rebranded.
All the branding, the field.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't just put a sign.
No, the banners, everything is.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it looks apparently beautiful. So good. My husband wanted to go tonight. Or tomorrow night, or the next night. And can you guess why?
Who's playing?
Red Sox.
I knew it. I was like, Boston's in town. Boston.
But we are so spoiled by the $10 tickets at the Trop. But maybe that's why they're not going to stay, because tickets are $10.
Yeah.
You can't get your cake and eat it too. And so the tickets are like $65 to $85. Which
at
by
the Yankee one?
Yes. Because it's like half the amount of people. I think they can only fit 13.
Yeah, okay. All right. And plus, I mean, I have to assume it's a lot closer up seat. It's more of a kind of VIP seat.
Yeah, it would definitely be that.
Versus,
Well, I don't know. You could pretty much sit wherever you wanted at the Trop for $10.
Honestly, and that's what made me sad. I'm like, this team actually is not half bad. When I first moved
they
down there,
went to the World Series.
Trent and I went to the first. They went to the World Series, and like Trent and I went to a game, and it was still. Right after we moved down here, it was still COVID time. You couldn't park next to another car in the parking lot. You had to wear a mask going into the stadium.
And Florida was just all fake.
They were only selling half the tickets because they expected you to put seats in between the people in front of you.
Yes.
And don't sit directly behind and don't sit directly
they're like tape.
And even then, Trent and I were like, this is fucking sad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, and coming from Kansas City, I mean, the Royals had a really good run. What was that, 15, 16? We went to the World Series twice, and it got electric. It got electric in Kansas City around the Royals, and so they always had the I-70 series with the Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals, right?
And that was always, even though the Cardinals, main rival is the Cubs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny when I moved.
Who I rooted for when I was growing up.
Yes,
and they beat the Dodgers the other day, like spanked.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
The
and if they want to beat the Braves anytime, that would be fine.
Yeah,
and no offense, Michael, the Red Sox do.
Yeah. Oh,
take them out at the knees. That's kidding. All right, we're getting mafioso with baseball. So
yeah, we are.
There are a few things, though. You know, Easter's coming up this upcoming Sunday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, what are you going to do for Easter?
You know what? We really don't have big plans. It's kind of being transplants down here. We don't have a big family support network.
Mm-hmm.
I have some extended family here in the Tampa Bay area, and they've been amazing in having us over for like Christmas and a couple different holidays. But honestly, the majority of the holidays that we've been here in Madeira Beach, the VFW host that's in John's Pass.
Yeah, I love
First of all, excellent.
Excellent.
With
John, that guy John was like the cookist.
Chef, right?
Yeah,
like
he was like the cookest ever.
Like amazing. I would put their ahi tuna and their bang bang shrimp up against.
Oh yeah, Michael loved their bang bang shrimp.
Anybody, the cut of ahi tuna that you would get there, they had ahi tuna nachos. Anyway, I digress. They always had a holiday meal that they would do at the VFW. So Easter, Christmas, they would do a St. Patty's Day corned beef and cabbage. But it's nice because not everybody has somewhere to go.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I could cook.
And you don't have to be a member.
But no, you don't. You don't have to.
Although you were a member.
Actually,
are you still?
It was a kind of a grandfather situation. So an auxiliary member. So, but still, I can still order alcohol.
Yeah.
But it's like anybody can go into the VFW when they reopen in John's Pass and order food. And I'm telling you, it is so worth it. But anyway, they used to do a big thing about Easter dinner and Christmas dinner and stuff. They had these espresso encrusted lamb chops with mint jelly.
You just like anything espresso, though.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
But that does sound amazing.
You know what they don't have is an espresso martini.
Yeah,
which,
we're gonna have to get them.
Can I sponsor the Kettle One machine?
Exactly. Please.
But it's closed.
Kettle One. Yeah.
This is Kettle.
I don't know.
Is this Illinois? Kettle One. All right, I'm gonna not tangent this because I'm thinking of a different key word. So, Easter dinner, VFW, unfortunately, is still not reopened after the hurricane.
I don't know if I've even heard when they're going to reopen.
You know, I've seen a couple posts online, and I trust a couple estimates that I've seen because I know that it's volunteers that are staff and or even the commanders made a couple posts and things. And unfortunately, I don't know the inner workings of everything, but it seems as though it's been pushed again to where Q1 of next year. Yeah. And that's, I hope that that's not the reality because it's a beautiful community gathering. And there was a lot of locals, a lot of regulars. We played cards there, you know, all the things. But anyway, so this year it is Trent's birthday, but the Elks Club here in town.
Oh, very nice.
I'm a member. And they're going to
across the pond over by Angry Pepper, right?
No, actually. So that's the American Legion.
Oh.
So the Elks Club is here. You actually make a left onto.
Oh, yeah.
So it's back on the waterfront, kind of set back from Boca Intracoastal. But you can see it from the Tom Stewart Bridge if you look to the south.
I always forget about that there.
It's literally, you're driving through a completely residential area.
To understand.
And it's like houses, make a left. Houses, Elks Club Lodge.
That's cool.
It is.
So they're doing a nice.
They are. They're going to do what they're calling the Bunny Buffet, and it's $10. And it sounds like it's going to be
like wicked cheap. $10.
$10, and apparently it's going to be.
Do you have to have a ticket?
So you have to pay at the door.
Oh,
but I mean,
that's pretty impressive.
And they're going to have like a plate of like ham, obviously, scalloped potatoes, green beans, rolls. And I think, little sides. And then they said they were going to have a dessert table. Again, $10? I don't have to leave the island.
Amazing.
And it supports the local organization in which I already belong to.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
And I don't have to do dishes.
Well, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
I think that's worth the $10.
Yeah. Or make like a special dinner for Trent.
Well, and that'll have to happen. I mean, I'll probably bake whatever cake he wants or something. But we'll figure it out. Or if he wants to go out for crab legs, that's good.
That is a big thing.
We'll figure it out. What do you guys do?
Well, the our bar are doing all-you-can-eat crab legs.
They're doing it again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little pricey.
No, I'm going to pay $80.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think it's $80.
I just didn't realize they had turned back on.
Yeah, they just turned it back on.
Say less.
Yep, they just turned that back on.
Say less.
And then, of course, the kind of sad news that came out on social media is the Thunderbird. That's so sad.
Here's the thing in my opinion.
They've not shown. I mean,
it is
sad.
very sad that the iconic original structure won't be able to be preserved with a Thunderbird. I find blessings in almost twofold with it, though. Number one, the same caretakers of stewardship are going to continue to own it, and they're going to take it into what is unfortunately necessary for the future. The fact that they said that they're going to maintain and retain the original neon lights, and the quintessential Thunderbird
the whole sign
logo, and then there was something else they were going to save. I forget.
I did,
but
see
basically
that
all
too.
the original
That was
neon lighting. I actually think that the design honors the existing.
I do too.
In kind of almost structured nature.
Yeah,
it's not stupid tall. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's just sad that happened, but you do have to reinvent yourself sometimes, and this is a perfect opportunity to take that time to just say, like, how do we keep the old with the new?
Yeah, and how do we build it to where we don't have to rebuild it?
And a lot of people have reached that point where, because of COVID and everyone's spending all their time looking at their four walls, people do want to go on vacation and feel like they're staying in a little bit nicer home than potentially what they have.
True.
And I always felt like, I love mom and pop hotels. My husband grew up going to one up in Hampton Beach, and there's something obviously very charming about it. But I don't know if I think that's a very, very selective group at this point, unfortunately. So I think that part is good, is that, everything will be upgraded, and they'll make it so that if this happens again, it'll be okay. It won't get disrupted.
Exactly.
Maybe the pool, because that's the one thing but it won't get disrupted, and so and that they're going to rebuild is amazing.
The Icky Woo Woo Beach Bar. Have you hear anything specifically about that?
No,
I have to
that?
assume that's the one out back from the pool.
Oh, I thought that was Sloppy Joe's. No, Sloppy Joe's is on.
Sloppy Joe's is in the Billmore.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was
in between the two.
Yeah,
that's right.
Beach Bar, because I remember going there for summer nights concerts that they would have right there on the boardwalk behind it.
Yeah.
But it was if you came to that concert, you got to use the pool.
Yes.
Even if you weren't staying
they're
there,
doing
which
day
very
passes now.
Vegas-esque to me.
Well, they do day passes now.
Yeah.
All of those resorts are now allowing most people that, so if you're going to stay at a place and their pool is still shot, they do day passes almost every place now. So that's always interesting to learn about.
I am just taking all kinds of notes tonight, because I'm going to tell you, I got a girlfriend coming in town this week, and I know
you can do one at the Holiday Inn that's over in IRB.
Okay.
That one you can do a pool pass for.
I would really want to do one out Sloppy Joe, at Billmore.
Well, you should check out PCI, Postcard Inn.
Okay.
Because that one, I think, they don't have their rooms open.
Okay.
But they have it all squared away.
Oh,
and then
we're going to have a run of that pool.
Yeah, there's another one that's... Where do we go? Remember last year we went to the Beachcomber? I remember we met our Shauna over at the Beachcomber, and then she had gone to the other. Was that pre-hurricane?
Yes.
Oh, it was. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Don't quote me on that then. I don't know.
Cambria? You think
Cambria. Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they have day passes.
Okay.
But yeah, it should be busy in the area this weekend.
I think so.
We opened, so we just celebrated with my parents, and we'll do that again. But Michael's the cooker, as I am no chef at all, and so he's gonna. I'll work, and he'll probably.
That's right. You guys are open on Easter Sunday.
People love it. Who doesn't want to tell their friends that they went jet skiing on Easter Sunday?
Exactly.
We close a little bit early.
Yeah.
Usually we do. So we'll see what happens this year. We'll see. But yeah, it's a fun weekend, and there's plenty of places out there that can accommodate you for Easter.
Yes.
A lot of them don't close because of just they understand that people are in town for this. This is a pretty big weekend for usually spring breakers.
Exactly. And a lot of people, maybe they don't celebrate Easter. That's a whole nother subject. I talked to a girlfriend of mine, and she's going to be flying out on Easter, later on Easter Sunday. And I go, I have to imagine that it's going to be
relatively quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I would think so.
I would think so. Late on
a lot
Sunday,
of people, well, only because it's just even if you don't celebrate exactly what Easter stands for, it's usually just a day everyone gets together with their family.
Very true. Yeah.
But we have that meeting is this week. Or the lunch.
So there's a few things that we did want to mention before we wrap up tonight's episode. We actually mentioned it in the episode past, or was it 2 ago?
I don't know.
Both of them,
maybe. Both.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I think both.
We know what we say.
Yeah. And we don't judge.
Right? We do listen. Okay. So this Thursday, April 17th, is again the Conversations with the Mayor. This is at 12 o'clock noon at the Madeira Beach Brewing Company in Johns Pass. This is an opportunity to just literally chat with our lovely mayor. It's a very open, informal lunch discussion. You can bring questions, ideas. If you just want to listen in, it's also going to be a great opportunity to connect with city leadership and other fellow community members. So as a Chamber of Commerce member and a resident of Madeira Beach, I will be there.
Let the liquids flow.
And I love that they're doing it at the brewery.
I mean, they know who their audience is.
They know what town this is. Anyway, and then actually coming up next Thursday on April 24th, we still have the 2025 State of the Beaches Mayor's Town Hall. Now, that's a plural mayors on that one. That's actually going to be at the City of Madeira Beach City Hall. This is going to be actually hosted by the St. Petersburg College Institute of Strategic Policy Solutions. Is this? And the Pinellas,
that's right. You had said that. I remember. Yeah.
And the Pinellas Beaches Chamber. And a conversation basically about the state of all of the beaches. So this is going to have multiple different town mayors. Mm-hmm. It's actually going to be moderated. I don't want to misspeak, but it's actually going to be moderated by a former Bay News 9 news anchor. This is at 5:30 in the evening on next Thursday, April 24th. It's scheduled for approximately an hour and a half. There is an RSVP link, so if you do plan on attending, I don't think.
Oh wait, what is it? The 24th?
It is next Thursday, so the 24th. Yeah, and again, I don't really know the working details of it, but I do know that
I'm definitely going to Thursdays.
Our city hall fits a lot of people.
Yes, it does.
But I have to imagine if it's going to be multiple different towns, and if it gets the right.
They just
notice with it. Sandy Ramon?
Yeah, and during post-hurricane, for a lot of the town hall meetings, they would have informational meetings that they were having for all the residents as they constantly, and still to this day, are like open day, Monday and Tuesdays, I believe it is, where you can go talk with the city and talk about your specific situation.
Right.
But they had cameras, and so the place where they do all that. Have you ever seen them do that yoga drum thing? Yeah. So they had it set up so people could watch it on TV there. Oh. So I would imagine they'll have that again. So adjacent to it, they have this little rec room that.
That's
people
actually
that hold
in
meetings.
The rec center.
Yeah,
that's out by the water behind the stage of ROC Park.
Yeah,
and I have to be honest. If the option is to watch it in the
I
rec
would go
center,
watch it there. You're not on notice in there.
Don't mind my cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will bring my own chair because this is now Thunder Alley. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, we could sit outside and it becomes Thunder Alley, really. But they had a TV out there. They had a TV in there so that people could watch and just have and be able to engage. So I would imagine it's probably going to be about the same thing. Okay, but maybe. But that's probably why they want to know how much they need to set up for the RSVP.
very true. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to have it catered, but one could hope. No,
one could hope. That's right. That's right. But here we are 6-7 months later, and fortunately, Madeira Beach is still trying to do everything they can to help the residents and
100%.
navigate through everything and uncharted territory for everyone. But it's exciting, I think.
Let's bring the people together and take an active pulse of what do they want, where can we go,
exactly.
What do we need, what needs to be done still. And here's the thing: I hope that people come with the respect and basically just the realization that so much, guys. Like, I literally find photos or memories of things that pop up now 6-7 months ago, and I forget. I forget what it actually looked like out here. That's probably me mentally blocking it for my own sanity. But it's like, you look at like this part of the street or this part of Gulf Boulevard or this structure here, and I find a photo of what it looked like in, October, and I'm like, damn.
Yes.
Let's talk about the fact that Archibald just reopened.
Yeah, just reopened. And
everyone
they put that
and their
beautiful
mother's
mural.
been wanting to know when Archibald was going to reopen. They didn't actually understand what that property was used for during the initial emergency cleanup.
Yes. Yeah.
And why it took so long. Thank you so much for having patience.
Yes.
There's a beautiful new bathroom area. There's a beautiful new mural that they took with open voting for this. The residents
they did a poll for it. It's
wanted.
like 3 different murals.
It's fantastic. I hope to get, and this might already be the case already, but I remember going to that beach for the Moby Mat dedication. And let's get that again.
Yeah, Snack Shack isn't open yet again, but they're working on it.
And I don't want to say like, listen, I'm grateful, whatever. Yeah, that is not what I'm saying.
It's not a priority.
But here's the thing. We don't have the time, but let's find some drone footage of what Fort Myers Beach looks like right now. Let's find some footage of what Anna Marie Island looks like right now. Longboat Key looks like right now. Let's see how far we've actually come and give credit where credit is due.
I think so too. I think it's been amazing.
And even in the microcosm of the 13 towns that are along these barrier islands themselves, there are cities that have made choices, conscious choices, that have resulted in basically further along progress than others.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you.
And I'm not saying we need to go there and, cheer, cheer, hail, hail, hear, hear, but let's also say thank you.
Yeah, agreed.
Because these are human beings that every day this is something they've been dealing with. And every night they go home and think about what they didn't get to. And every night they think about how many residences are sleeping in their cars and sleeping in their garages and sleeping in, unfortunately, not even demoed out situations.
Nope, not even. Nope.
So, thank you. Anyway, City of Madeira. So
exactly.
All right. Well, I think that's my soapbox.
Yeah. Everyone have a great week.
Step back down. Yeah. Happy Easter.
Yes.
And be careful out there.
Yeah. Exactly. And we'll see you next Monday. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next Monday. Bye.